when it happens, you got to capitalize and put in more work even harder.
I make sure that I got my ducks in a row before I announce anything, and I make sure that if I fail, it's gonna be on me.
It's a fact, and there's gold producers and platinum who are literally cooking up beats on an iPad, on GarageBand. So what VSTs and what equipment are we talking then,
I used to chase placements. I would rather make beats for my friends and come up with them and grow with them.
When it comes to luxury, I think of having the luxury of time, of freedom, of choice, of, like that's a luxury to me.
Check, 1, 2. What's up with y'all? You already know it's your boy 215 Got Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this. Producer's new favorite podcast, Let Me Rap With You. You already know. Just entering out of November. Happy December, everybody. Going into the first week, happy December. Hope everybody got some things planned for the last and final month of this hell of a year that we've had. Going to the first month, first week of the last month, as I should say, But besides that, of course, y'all know this podcast is sponsored by N.O.R.M. Think you dripping, you ain't dripping till you come shop with us. Make sure you get at my guy Smash 215 at N.O.R.M Shop on Instagram. That's DEMOLIR Shop, no underscore, no none of that. Y'all already know we've been saying this throughout the year that we've been here, you feel me? And of course, this podcast is sponsored by Major Loops, got B-Block, looking for some placement-worthy loops, samples, 808s, drum kits, snares, claps, hitties, constructions, you name it. Shout out to my guy Rory Luxe, MajorLoops.com, you already know, great kits, great prices. I was enjoying that part so much. That's why I said I enjoyed that. I enjoy the sponsors, because also this podcast is sponsored by No Rival Shop. Shout out my guy Jalen, shout out my guy to mine. You feel me? Make sure y'all go on NoRivalShop.com. Make sure y'all go, mystery box or the $11 tees. You feel me? No matter what you get, you're gonna get something great out of that. Even before you even open the damn package, put together. Nicely, the Mind No Rivals, they always support their fans in every way. So definitely, we supporting all the way here. So, but of course, y'all already know, just, another night, feel me? Like I said, we just going into the final month of 2020. The final month, the final leg, the final stretch. So many we have lost, so many who are still here. I feel like before we get into anything that's music politics, I say salute to everybody that's here and, that's holding on, because I know a lot of us have, we lost loved ones, you feel me? So definitely shout out to everybody that's, still holding on, that's still here. So, you feel me? I feel like sometimes, the podcast, I feel like we should, go outside of music sometimes and actually appreciate, the things that, the bigger picture, it's reality, Any of us could be going any day now. Shit. I could have been going any time during the seasons. You feel me? But, we all still here. Whoever's watching me, you're still here. I'm glad to have you here. Glad to have you watching, or just glad to have you, know that your presence is wherever it is in the world, Even, whether I know you watching or not. If you can hear my voice at, somehow I know your presence is, it's there. So, if you get what I mean, you feel me? But, besides that, we're not going to get, let's cut that off before the group chats get out of control. But, besides that, like I said, Christmas is coming. Anybody got some Christmas skits? Artists, Christmas songs coming? I think Summer Walker and Black had actually already dropped some a Christmas tune, actually. So, I'm pretty sure people got the got their little twist with the holidays coming. You know, you feel me? This year, especially, you know, we all gonna have to switch it up this year. You know, anyway, we all not celebrating the holidays the same anyway. So, you know, but besides that, you know, random positive vibes all the time. You know, I hope everybody, you know, producers, knocking out some great beats, artists. You know, you're knocking out some great beats with some crazy ass vocals. And, you know, then going into that, the engineers, if, you know, the artist, if you're not, you know, if you're not the engineer, you feel me? I'm going to say it like this. Y'all already know where I'm going with that. You know, hopefully that mix comes out cray-cray. You feel me? You know, we always with the, you know, positive vibes. I'm pretty sure, you know, people in the studio right now, you know, people making shit happen. So all those that's there making that shit happen, who don't hear me right now or isn't going to hear me until after they done that little studio session, make that shit happen. You only live once, you feel me? You might as well win. Ain't no point in us losing. You feel me? Ain't no point in us losing. So, and you know, honestly, you know, just with the, you know, the little bit of, you know, life lessons that, you know, you learn in and out, you know, that's why, you know, you see I'm more open about talking about this kind of stuff. I feel like, you know, the conversation should be said, you know, not just within myself or within like the few people I talk to, but, you know, with the world. You feel me? But speaking of the world, actually, and it's crazy because by the time this episode will come out, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you artists will have already caught on. But Spotify, they had actually they now have Spotify Canvas for, you know, the artists who have, you know, submitted, you know, during the beta and stuff. Because, you know, I found out I got it. My guy Pally Ray got it. My guy Marco 210 got it. It's a lot of people I know that actually got the Spotify Canvas. And, you know, definitely shouts out to Spotify, because I had you know, when the majors had been doing the Spotify Canvas, and they were still working like with some betas for, like, you know, to have other people do it. So before they even really came out with it, I had, you know, submitted my application, you know, for the beta and stuff, and I never got a response. But you know, when I checked my phone today, they said, oh yeah, you know, you good for that. So I literally just, like, I had all these little 3, 4, 5 second little motion picture things with some of my covers, and, you know, I just put them right on there for the canvas. So, you know, definitely shouts out to Spotify. I can't give y'all 100% credit on everything, because I'm gonna say it like this: if y'all stream payouts were just as great as your tools, we'd be in a much better world. I'm gonna say it as it is. If your stream payouts were just as great as your tools, Spotify, that's all I'm saying. The tools are great. Let's get them stream payouts the same. You know, that goes for all the platforms holding out on us. You know, feel me? But, you know, besides that, ain't really no shenanigans. About to send. Ain't really no shenanigans. Y'all already know we rolling. You feel me? You know, we about to have the guests, you know, come in for the night. And, you know, and it's been a minute, you know, but tonight's guest is actually, you know, a full-on fledged artist again. You know, we really haven't had a good conversation with a full-fledged, you know, rapper or, you know, artist in a minute since, you know, the Broadway Louis episode. And, you know, it's going to be great. It's definitely going to be great. I definitely, you know, like talking to artists too and everything. So, you know, it's good to talk to different people. You know, like I said, it may be producers, you know, new favorite podcast, but, you know, we talking about more than just that. I'm pretty sure it's everybody's favorite podcast now, but you feel me? Just sent them the link. I'm about to get rolling. But besides that, y'all already know your boy had gotten some, you know, some shit coming. You know, Top of the World is coming out this week of December. Shout out my guy, rapper JC, Woo, Ron Wood. Shout out to you, sis. Y'all definitely like made that song the way that I thought it would be, and I love it So I definitely can't wait for that to drop this weekend. And, you know, that shout out my guy, Pally Ray. You know, we got Private Carnival on all platforms, produced by yours truly, co-produced by my in-house, you know, Barber Beats. Shout out to you, bro. You know, definitely wouldn't have made that joint without you, bro. So, you know, like I said, just a couple of more hits that's out there in the world that, you know, your boy is a part of. You know, Top of the World is actually, you know, your boy's single. That's actually going to be on the EP City of Constantine coming out, you know, next year. But we're not going to get into too many details about that. Another podcast going to have to get to me about that. So, sent. All right, bet. Link is sent. I ain't gonna lie. This backwood feels like bad luck. Backwood, more like back luck. But, you know, we gonna get through. Cause trust me. Oh, yeah. Papi store across the street from me is closed. I don't know why they close early. They be closing early. Close early. I don't know why. They close early. So, you know, hopefully, you know, this joint pulls through for us. Besides that, though, tonight's episode, we definitely going to have a couple of great questions because, you know, tonight's guest has actually worked with a couple of our guests. So, you know, it's going to be good to see how those stories correlate. I'm just waiting on our guy to, you know, receive the link. Uh-oh. She's surviving. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There we go. Quick centerfold. She made it. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think she was gonna make it for a second. It's looking very stale on the end, but there you go. All right. Let Me Rap With You podcast. Your boy 215 Got Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this. We got special guests going to November in the building. What's up with you, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing, Doc?
Man, you already know, bro, man. Just another night, man. You know, just doing what we do best, man. Just repping the underground, trying to put on, man. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
You know, man, it's December. It's about to be December, going into the last month of the year. So, you know, I just want to see, like, you know, what everybody got prepared. But, you know, everybody know what we got prepared. We got this episode ready. But, you know, we're not going to give the podcast too many, you know, too much to hold. We're going to just, you know, start from the beginning. You know where you came from and how, you know, going to November, you know, came to be.
Shit. All right. Well, I grew up outside of LA, like 20 minutes, in a small ass little city, almost basically a town. And I got kicked out at 15. I moved to LA with my auntie. But prior to that, I already had started writing songs. I already started trying to make beats on Reason and on Ableton and on FL Demo. So when I moved to LA, I finally got a hold of one of my big homies, and he invited me out to his studio where he stayed at in Burbank. And I went out there, recorded my first song. But that was Yeah, I went by a different name or a different alias, if you will. But I felt like that old shit wouldn't have let me make the move to the next level where I really feel like the music could take me. You know what I mean?
And then probably where you really wanted to go as an artist.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Because I feel like, and I seen somebody say this on Instagram today. You know, if I'm not putting my feelings in it, then it's like I don't even want to like do it. So it's like I feel like, you know, nowadays I feel like music is a part of like really who the person is. So it's like if the person feel like they can't really put their heart into it, they're not going to put that content out.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of like, you know, going through all that in the process, and like you said, getting kicked out, doing all that, still being with Auntie and all that, you were still writing. Who were some of your influences, you know, coming up writing? Like who were some of your favorite artists that you were listening to?
Well, for that's like I have two answers for that because my influences for writing are totally different from my influences that I actually like listen to on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean?
For sure.
For writing, writing and composing, Pink Floyd, The Doors, Prince, MJ, of course, Drake, 40, Wiz, a lot of his the way a lot of I want to say like 40 and Wiz's producers have so many different textures and you could feel these different emotions in the production. I feel like there's where I took a lot of my influences from when I go into beat selection or when I actually go to make a beat myself, you know what I mean? And then people that I listen to coming up like that would just be Tyler and Earl. Well, the whole OF shit, like I found them off of MySpace back in the day, like before Goblin dropped. Like I was one of those kids. I shouldn't have been on MySpace. I shouldn't have been in the blogs because I was young, like 9, 10, 11, 12. So like finding music back then and then seeing them grow and be like, shit, well, they're just kids too. And at that time, you know, OF, they were really just kids. I said, fuck that. I could do that shit too. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
yeah, them listening, I listen to everything, man. I was brought up on everything. So that's why if you hear different shit in my writing or even production, like that's probably why.
Man, the one thing I noticed about your writing, cause like now when I hear going to November, like not even before I even listen to the music, when I hear the name, I think a concept. And you know, before we even get into like the name and everything, like before, like I just gotta say this, just as you know, a person who listens to music. The one thing I like about music, and my homie Hype taught me this. He had taught me this growing up. And hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Damn, that whole end wasn't even recording my 4K part. But it's all good though. So
Okay.
yeah, there we go. But it's all good. It's cool. The Zoom call still records. So, but the crazy factor is like, you know, when I hear your songs, I hear the emotion, I hear the pain, and I really hear like the character. Not even just like when, you know, you're going with the lyrical flow or you're going with that, you know, that boom bap flow, you know, that classic flow. I actually hear the character and I really hear your story behind it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was raised on the goats, man. Like, well, to me at least, like I'm on the West Coast, so like we have our West Coast legends, but Wayne was also played in my house. Outkast was also played in my house. Jay, Nas, DMX, like Master P, like No Limit back, like all that shit was played in my house. So I see them and I realize like you have to be authentic. You have to spit that shit that's you. Like, and then I see Kendrick, and he's not that much older, like generation before me, like music wise and shit. Like And he came out of the West Coast when everything was damn near jerking music and hype music, and like LA was trying to sound like the Bay at the time, and he came out sounded just like himself. Like, so I look at that and I just like, man, like you can't be trying to be the next man, because that shit, you're gonna put a ceiling over yourself, and then you hit that ceiling, you're not gonna know what to do.
For sure. And like you said, the one thing about you, you don't ever hit the ceiling, because even though you've been in the underground and you've been making a name for yourself, I've noticed that you've working with some of the high ends of the industry, such as example, I seen you come out, you dropped a couple of singles, you work with a couple of underground producers, and then you had coming into the likes of, legendary producer 88 Keys. So, how did that come about?
That man, to be honest, that was God, bro. Like he dropped the song, he released the song after it got leaked with Mac Miller. This Mac Miller song got leaked. And I'm assuming they leaked it on their end to have it be able to actually be released, since he just passed away. So like normal, like I listen, it drops midnight East Coast time, so that's only 9 p.m. here West Coast. So, I'm up, I'm awake, I listen to the song, I take a screenshot, Spotify, post it on my story, I tag 88, I go on about my business, nothing, normal shit. Maybe like 2-3 weeks later, a week later maybe, I get a DM while I'm at work, and I used to work for this private security company, so like I couldn't have my phone out. None like that. I couldn't be slipping up. It was super like exclusive type shit. So I took my 15 and I go look, and I see him reply to my story I tagged him in, which is 2 emojis, the prayer hand emoji and like a regular smiley face emoji. And I was like, oh, tight. So I'm just gonna DM him after work. I'll reply after work. I get off work, I hit him back like, yo, thanks for the song. Thanks, Mac is a huge inspiration. One of the main reasons I took the step to actually go and record at 15 and actually put in a mixtape out. And he was like, oh, word, like you're a producer? He's like, are you signed? Are you indie? And I was like, no, I'm independent. He was like, oh, we should do a 3-song, 4-song EP. And I told him, man, I don't got enough bread for that. Like, I just have enough for 1 song. And he was like, all right, well, let's, work on that. So originally I sent him some vocals to make a beat around that. The song's actually out. The song's called 21. It's like a bonus song on this EP I have. And he was like, he told me, the songs talk about dying young, like the chorus. And he told me, like, I don't know if you want to put that into the universe on a record like this with me. Like, he told me, he's like, I've heard Big, I've been around, I've seen them, I've seen Pac, I've seen them all, Big L. He's like, one thing they have in common is that they spoke their death into existence. And he told me, he's like, be careful with that. So I said, okay. I took the vocals off that he made the beat around, the acapellas, and I just started writing. And, it took about 9 months to make the record and shit, but, it finally came out. And I mean, I'm just happy it came out, because having that under my belt when not a lot of my, I want to say peers in the underground right now that are even bigger than me, like, they don't have that under their belt, that type of credit or people backing them type shit. You know what I mean?
For sure. And before I get into like the credit that I have to give you, I'm gonna say it like this. It's funny how, and I have to give 88 Keys his respect, because recently I seen this tweet from what's the rapper's name? YB and Amir. YB and Amir was basically talking about how a lot of rappers nowadays, and kind of like what 88 Keys said, like, they said it back in the day, how they kind of speak their death into existence. You know, it's good that he kind of gave you that gem because, you know, he might have saved you from a situation or two, and, you know, you never know how the energy works.
Yeah, man, that I'm big on that energy shit. What you put out comes back to you, good and bad. So, and I've spoken things into existence, you know, like, for example, where I'm at right now. So I understood completely what he said, and I was like, all right, man, I'm just gonna write a new record, you know, vent, get my shit off, you know what I mean?
The other thing I actually have to vent is that the credit that I have to give you, and, you know, Broadway Louie was talking about this in season 1, episode 6. What he was talking about was about how artists, how they take that risk. And, you know, that's not talked about enough, how, like, you know, how artists, how they need to really take that risk because, like you said, he wanted to do a EP with you and you kept it straight up honest with him. Like you said, you know, I don't have the money, you know, for an EP, but, you know, I have this on the table. And you know, me coming as a producer and as an engineer, you know, one thing that, you know, we don't acknowledge enough are the artists who actually, you know, it don't matter how much they have, but that they're willing to come to the table with something saying, look, I have this, like, you know, can we build something with that? And, you know, I feel like that's a gem that a lot of people really need to take from this episode. You feel me?
Yeah, man. I think that was given to me, like, instilled in me by my mom's. Like, you don't just ask for shit. If you're gonna ask, if you're gonna sit at the table, you bring something to the table. You can't just pull up and pull a seat out and sit and enjoy while everybody else, you know, put in the work for the fruits of their labor. And he's older than my mom, so he's been putting in work way before I was even thought of. So I had to come straight with him, like, yo, like, I got this. Like, if you know, if this works for you, you know, I'll send that shit right now. And he was like, yeah, you know, and I set up the little Apple Pay and sent it through him like that. And the rest is, you know, history.
For sure, man. And, you know, and I actually seen you post the statistics a couple days ago. The numbers on that is actually doing about 10, 11, 12,000 right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to the listeners.
Yeah, for real. And those are just solid. My monthly listeners vary a lot, man. They'll go up to almost 2K, and then they'll, like, that's when I'll drop a project and I'll have like 8 different producers sharing it, couple different, you know what I mean? So it gets a little more, but when I'm just dropping solo shit, and that's one thing I noticed with the producer community or even the underground is, like, if they not involved in that particular record that you drop, they might not even like the damn tweet, or they might not even, you know what I mean? They'll, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you feel me?
I was
like
trying to hold this in, but it's like, damn, like, we have to say this now, like, and that's one thing, like contributors, you have to realize is that every post counts, like, and this is the one thing, like, trust me, like, you saying this as an artist, because, you know, I upload songs too as a producer, so it's like, you know, one thing I will say is, like, everything counts, like, you know, sometimes they might not even they might not retweet it. And it's like, you never know the count or the traffic you might lose from that. And, you know, it's crazy. Like, my factor is, like, you know, you contributed to it. And I'm going to say like this, regardless of big or small, like, I'm not going to waste my time contributing to something and then not share it. Or, like, even me, like, no matter how old my work is or, like, the work I do with people, like, I keep my stuff in a collective playlist. So even if I don't share everything in that one day, you see this playlist.
It's accessible. Yep.
Everything is right there. It's going to say, like, dang, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, he did this and that. Like, exactly. So you feel me?
Yeah, I think, to me, I don't know. I think that's a form of like dick riding almost. Like you only fuck with me when it's beneficial for you, and I'm over here like, bro, I drop hundreds of dollars like on beats, and then they'll retweet that shit once. They won't share. Like this to me is some hoe shit. But I'm putting money in your. That's just from an artist perspective.
I still post links from songs I produced from. What's this? It's about to be the end of 2020. I still post links from songs I produced in 2018, bro.
Yeah, see, yeah, I have producers like that too, bro. Like they'll actually, they see it long haul. They see the shit, and I don't like to do that whole the whole race thing, but I feel like it's white producers who are not from the outside looking into the culture that are more like that because they're chasing the dollar. They're not trying to push the needle forward and help the culture and move it where it needs to go. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm focused on, bro, because if you don't contribute to the culture, you're just gonna be pumped, you know? Like, and I ain't trying to fall victim to my own shit like a lot of people do.
Nah, but we keep it authentic on the podcast. We say it like it is. You feel me? We say it like it is.
That's my perspective, and I know people don't understand that perspective quite all the way. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are outside looking in because hip hop became the most popular genre and most accessible genre, like, and it became the cool thing to try to fucking make. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people I see in the underground community, even specifically more the producer community, and I'm not trying to, talk down and shit like that, but it's a lot of dick riding. It's a lot of fake shit, but I mean, you can't. That's normal, but it's when I make a record with you and I'm trying to build with you, and you still continue to act like that after I put money in your pocket. I'm like, nah, that's the last record I'm making with you. Like, there's a couple producers that I have songs out with that I'm like, I'm never buying a beat from you again. Like, this money we'll continue to make forever because these records will continue to stream, but I'm not going to put another dollar in your pocket, like, as far as me buying another beat or anything like that. Because if you're not going to try to help me move the needle forward for the culture, like, I ain't got time to fuck with you like that.
And just to be more specific, because mainstream, I don't make assumptions on anything. I don't make assumptions on anything. So when we say moving the needle for the culture, because we're in a different world before we reach that higher level. We're in a different world right now. So moving the needle for the current culture of the community that we're in. How can you get more into detail about what you want to push for the culture, like for artists, producers, and creatives all around? Actually, I will say
I think I could speak to that perfectly because I'm also a producer. Like, I'm also a quote unquote creative. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of I don't know if you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, but he had a recent episode a couple weeks ago where he talks about there's different corners of the club. There's different pockets in hip hop, even in the mainstream. And I think in the underground, it's even more separated. It's even more not spread apart. I don't know. I can't really figure out the word I want to use.
It's more divided.
Divided, yeah. And also, I sense a lot of animosity between certain pockets, and I think moving the culture forward, moving the needle, I think bringing all of the pockets of hip hop together, or the underground together, to realize like, yo, just because you sound like a Juice WRLD, no offense to anybody that does, or if you sound like a young boy, doesn't mean I can't support you doesn't mean I can't drop that fucking retweet because somebody that listens to Youngboy could one day say, fuck it, I want to listen to Peep or I want to listen to Juice. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's bringing the underground together more, or even the producer community together more, because I see a lot of divisiveness with that too, and a lot of I'm not gonna support you if you don't have credits, and I think that's whack. Or like you don't have placements.
I've been noticing that lately, and it's like, you know, honestly, and it's like you said, like me, it doesn't matter how big I get. And honestly, actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna quote unquote, I'm gonna get this quote from Vanish Beats. Matter of fact, while we sitting here, I got a good battery, and I'm actually on Twitter while we speaking right now. Let me get this quote from Vanish Beats, because what you just said, he said this in a tweet recently. It has to be like right there. He said something about, you know, no matter how big, you know, he would be. You know, I'm gonna find this tweet because I feel like that's definitely right here. It says, and you know what? I'm gonna screenshot this because I'm gonna post this in the episode on the thing.
All right, for
So
sure.
what it says is, I could be the biggest producer in the world and I'll never get an ego. I'll always help people out and never turn someone down just because of their following. Crazy these people get a deal and think they're God. Calm down. You were begging to work with me a month ago.
Yeah, bro. Yep. Facts, 110%. And I'm sure 500 other people in the underground have experienced that too. If me and you find common ground on that, you know. So I think getting rid of that, whatever that is, and I know hip hop is built on creative it's competition, excuse me. I know hip hop is you know,
Not more so ego, but creative competition in general.
Yeah, and I feel like if we got away from the ego and we got towards not chasing the motherfucking dollar, then it would bring us closer together as a community in the underground. But them deals, bro, them producers getting deals, that shit's, I see congratulation tweets and shit from people underneath, and it's like, I've never seen you comment, I've never seen you anything with this man's tweet. Like, yeah, you follow him, but then all of a sudden he gets signed. Yo, congrats, bro. Nah, you're not my bro. Like, you know what I mean, fam? Like, that shit is, to me, that shit's whack. Like, that's, to me, it's half like fake. Like, you almost supporting somebody just to ride their coattail just in case. Like, you following me just in case I make it, so you just in case might be able to get a placement. Like, nah. I think that shit's whack. At least to me, bro, because I think, at least for the music, bro, you can't be fake outside of the music and try to make real ass music. Like, I mean, you can, yeah, it's done, you know, obviously, but the music that's gonna last, I don't think that's possible, you know?
And like you said, like I see that you're not only selective about the sound that you pick, but also the producers that you work with. And, you know, getting into that, and before, you know, we actually get into this, because this is something that I've noticed, like, you know, with your recent work, with your recent 2-track EPs, within 5-6 minutes, you're able to bring in a certain vibe, a certain concept within each one. And, you know, I want to start off with one of the songs that I actually put in one of the playlists of the podcast for season 1, the finale. The song Old School, that was actually co-produced by season guest 1, Papi.
Yeah. He posted a snippet, I think, of that shit. And I was like, bro, I need that, just clowning around, being on Twitter. I need that shit expeditiously, you know? And he was like, all right, like, I'll send that shit through. You know, I sent the money, send that shit back. And I heard that shit. I had that pocket, bro. And I was like, yeah, man, like, I need to be able to bring the listener into where I am currently. To be able to, if you put this on in your car, you'd be like, damn, I could almost picture where the fuck he's at. I can almost picture.
That's exactly how I felt when I first heard the song. That's exactly how I felt.
Shit.
Shit, you got the nail on the head without me even saying it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, man. That's I try to do that with that song specifically. I think it's more I don't know, this West Coast shit. Like everybody out here in Cali want to trap now, want to do this, want to be like the South and shit. And it's like, to be able to catch people's ears, I wanted to be able to bring our terminology that we use over here, our slang or whatever you want to call it.
I will say the Bay is keeping their original sound though.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Shout out to the Bay too, man. Like
like the Bay is the one area out West Coast. I sit there like the Bay has like they kept their shit forever.
Forever, bro. And you know what's even crazy? I think now is Detroit heavy on that Bay influence. You could hear it in Grizzly, and you could hear it in I think Saba.
Sada Baby, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and for old school specifically, I just try to bring them here sonically, so because I feel like that's what Wiz does, that's what Currency does, that's what Drake does, Kendrick, shit, even some of Cole's early records, you could feel like a certain place and time, you know what I mean? And I try to draw from them, not anyone specifically, but I try to draw from them or from that so I could display it in my music too, you know what I mean?
For sure. And you know, like you said, breakthrough is just the start, just the start of that, and shout out to Saturn Tokyo, and like I said, definitely shout out to the crew on there. And honestly, bro, like, just going into the next parts, because like I said, you're going single for single for single. You just keep dropping, like you said. You just want to keep that catalog going. So going into Pipe Dreamz, I had actually let me see, Pipe Dreamz. I had noticed you had worked with Major Loop's Rory Luxe. So
yeah, that's my dog, man. Like I started working with him last year around this time, actually. Same thing. He posted a beat, posted a snippet. I was like, yo, I need that. He was like, all right, go to my beat store. I just uploaded it, copped it, whatever. And me and him just building a relationship over this past year. And maybe when he rebranded, I'm not going to put him on the spot and say his old shit, but when he rebranded, he sent me a pack of hella beats.
Hold on, bro. Give me 1 second. My mom calling.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mom? Oh, say it again? Oh, okay, I'm going to get him. All right. Give me 1 sec, bro. I just got to go grab the cat real quick.
Nah, go ahead. You good.
Hey. What's up, man? Go ahead, man.
Yeah. That's your cat, just the house cat.
Nah, that's my dog right there.
Hey, lit.
That's my dog. So
Yeah, recently, a couple days ago, one of my cats ran away, bro, and she's old. She like 9 years old, 10 years old, some shit like that. And she ain't never been outside before, and she ran away and was gone for like whole 2 days and barely like came one night. Like she was crying at my window. And go out and she's right there and shit. Like, damn, get your ass inside.
For sure. And like I said, before the cat had gotten his little guest little appearance, we was talking about, you had actually worked on Pipe Dreamz with Rory Luxe,
Roy.
So what's your with Rory Luxe? So what's your relationship with him?
I've just been building a relationship with him over the past year. he rebranded recently, and a couple months ago, he sent me this pack, hella beats, bro. And I went through them all, downloaded them joints, and shit like that will just sit on. You send me shit, it'll sit on my hard drive for a bit, but I will record to it eventually. And I got around to recording to it, and it sounded like the feeling it had felt similar to the other song, to Picture Me Rolling. And I just said, fuck it. Like, I put this little 2 EP out with Breakthrough. Like, let me just do that shit again, and just get these records off. And people fuck with it. Them shit slaps. I'm happy with the reception so far. You know what I mean?
For sure. And like I said, it's great to see working with the crew, because I sponsor Major Loops on the podcast and everything. But right after Pipe Dreams that came out, you had came right back. Not even a month or two later, you had came right back with Roses. So and Roses, I'm not gonna lie, Roses was like, oh, it sounded like he planning an album with this one. So it's like, what was it? So it's like, what was your inspirations with Roses and how that came about?
So recently, IG, updated with the Reels thing, and being on IG, I follow hella producers and shit. So the algorithm obviously will throw producers into my algorithm. And this producer posted a Reel that I don't follow. Like, who the fuck's this? I check his shit. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store. Started seeing what he had. He had a deal like buy one get 3 free or whatever. Copped. And then the last one is specifically that beat. And I was listening, man. I was like, this shit just sound like how I'm feeling right now. Like, this should just sound where I'm going, where I'm at, where I will end up. It just sound like it to me. Not it as in the song, but it sound it to me. Like, I felt that shit.
Like this, like, okay, this is the direction that, like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the direction. This is where now the step after, it has to go from here.
Yep, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be that step, and that's how I felt writing that record too. I cried writing that record. The first couple bars, and I wrote it within maybe a 3-month span. Because there's no hook in it, so I'm just getting my shit off. I'm just rapping, and so I like to take my time on records like that, on songs like that, because those songs are remembered in hip hop. When you getting your shit off, like, and the real hip hop heads, like, see you, those are the records that they have in their playlist or whatever, you know what I mean? That they like, yeah, bars, like, he's spitting, So there wasn't really much thought behind it either. More so just, there's a lot of thought behind writing it, because it took a couple stages. Like, there was a couple hooks, rode like a bridge or two, and the shit just didn't fit. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna continue to write bars, like, and that shit felt right to me. And I just kept it like that, and I sent it to a couple people. They were like, yeah, just touch the mix up, this and that, how, we're in the early stages of a song. So it came together like that, and I just dropped that shit, and I mean, people are fucking with it, like, and I didn't suspect people would, because it's, it's if you want to categorize it, it sound like East Coast almost, like, or even it sound like something 40 would make for Drake, like, it sound like Tuscan Leather almost, and the big drums, or Boy Wonder, like, and I just felt like, damn, bro, like, this feeling I got, like, I need to be able to get that shit off. And that guitar in the beginning sounds so rich when it comes in, and it's like electric, has some distortion on it, and so much texture. I was like, yeah, man, like this is that direction that I'm gonna make sure that people realize, like, oh, this dude out the West Coast, like, he not just sounding like everybody else, you know, he's that.
For sure. And you know, like you said, like now that you know you see that direction going in, so you know, before I ask the 2021 question, like I always ask, you know, every guest going into the end, will we be seeing an album coming from that, or will you possibly just give another 2-track EP just to hold them off just a little longer before you know for that album actually do come out?
No, that album's coming, man, because honestly, it's I've been working on an R&B album for a couple years, and I cut it down. Not cut it down. I didn't throw songs out or anything like that.
Next year will mark like 3.5, right? Because I know it's like the third year, right?
Oh, basically, yeah, it'll be like 2 now. Yeah, it'll be like 3 years if I hold off. So, and Drake is dropping. I got word that Drake is dropping. Industry word that Drake's dropping the 1st of January. So I don't want to put something out that sounds like 2020 and him change the fucking sonically, you know, him change the climate. And I don't want the shit to sound dated or everybody going towards this direction when I'm going this direction. You know what I mean? So yeah, the album is gonna drop this year.
I'm gonna keep it honest because I'm actually dropping a single January 1st. And I already know the wave with that shit. Unless Drake get his people to find a way to hack my laptop and get the beat himself.
I feel you.
Look, I'm gonna say it like this, like, you know, I may not be major, but you know, I've heard Drake's New Year tracks. Like, here's the thing. When Drake drop in the summer, that's when niggas just need to go in the house, close the blinds, and just look, boom. Like,
yeah,
cool. But like this is New Year's, like, you know, and like I said, for certain artists, they wanna hold for what they got coming for 2021, and I respect that. But for what I got coming 2021, I ain't even gonna hold the fans like that. It's like, look, I'm about to just let y'all know from the rip. This is what it is.
I feel that.
Like I said, because it's like the one thing, and I talked about it with with a guest recently, you know, just like the internet industry and like just, you know, the way that we got it now. Somebody can be one thing today, you can be the next one tomorrow. And then somebody else can be the next one the third day, and then somebody can be the next one the fourth day.
Yep, facts, bro. That shit that I heard actually 21. I don't know. Are you on Clubhouse?
Not yet. I keep hearing about Clubhouse, but you know.
I'll talk to you about it off this shit. But I was on Clubhouse, and I was listening to 21 on there, and he was basically saying the same shit, like that now it's so fucking easy, he feels like, because back then they didn't have like Jay and them didn't have all them tools that we have. Like, they had to go out, they had to go into them offices, they had to hand off CDs and try to get people to stop in traffic and shit like that. And I think, like how you said exactly, one tomorrow, somebody we follow could, boom, drop something, and that be it. And then the next week, next Thursday, or there could be someone else. So I think I agree with you 110%. And I think that shit's good for us too, because it's letting us get more money, bro. Like they didn't have all of them, like the Rockefeller era back then, like they didn't have all the opportunities we have to get as much money. Like, yeah, they went and really got it, you know, but I feel like
they made the sacrifice for us. And I'll say like this: what the OGs did in a different way, and then going into the new generation because the OGs still held the game down. The OGs made a sacrifice in one way for us to kind of have it another way, because if they didn't make the mistakes that they made in the game, we probably wouldn't have the tools that we have to be able to, like, you know, maneuver the shit. You feel me?
No, facts. And I think the blog era ending abruptly like it did, I don't think anybody saw that, because I don't think anybody knew where it was going 2015 when blogs weren't hot no more, when people were trying to figure out, okay, the streaming shit, what the fuck, Spotify just started, you know? Yeah, they definitely made the sacrifices for us. And
Spotify curators have just made a direct source, basically.
Yeah, that, and there's a whole nother conversation with them, how they're basically the new payola, and I don't fuck with that shit, bro. That shit's whack to me.
That whole boost thing, like, I haven't really.
Oh, that too. That's a whole nother conversation. That what they trying to do with that is not surprising to me, because recently on Joe Budden's podcast, he was signed to them exclusively and shit. And I don't know if you pay attention or follow him or even like him. A lot of people don't.
Big Joe Budden fan. First of all,
so yeah, you already know.
I'm in the 215, but I was originally born in Jersey, so you know, definitely shout out to Joe. But I've been in Philly basically my whole life, so it's like, I'm kind of embedded here. So,
nah, I feel you, but
the one thing I definitely do remember that conversation. But you know, it's crazy. I said this in the intro segment before, like, I even made the guest call. Like, I said this in the intro segment. If Spotify paid as great as their tools were, it'd be a way better world right now.
I think they would make more money too. I don't think they would be in the hole with what they are, you know?
They would eliminate labels. Like, when I say that statement with so much compliment, they could eliminate labels with the tools that they have.
Yes, and I think no, because when Spotify started, they gave stock and
they gave parts.
Yeah, they gave UMG and Sony and all of them. So I think, yeah, give it 15 years max. A lot of our biggest acts will be independent. But I still think there will be those lingering acts that have that old school machine feel to it, where, you know, you go on this, you go to the Breakfast Club, you go.
Of course, you know, gotta have the source. And like you said, 15 years from now, and like I said, you saying 15 years from now, a lot of people say this: Drake going independent is one of the scariest. Oh my!
Oh yeah, and that
would be the scariest.
I got word last night from, I don't know if you know who Cortez Bryant is.
Yeah. Cortez Bryant. Yeah. If I remember, Murders Management.
I believe so also, but he specifically
from Canada, correct?
Yeah, he's from, well, specifically Wayne and Drake and Ye's manager, or was all of them. And I was listening to him on Clubhouse last night, and I forgot where I was at. My bad, bro. I'm hot right now. So,
so they had the conversation at Clubhouse about Drake going independent.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, he said, he like confirmed it, that what we are all believing, that he is done with. He's not done with Universal, but he's licensing to use, how you said, their tools. He's Cortez, like Tez, he was saying that he gives them like 3%, something like that. But 3% of 500 million is what, you know, that's huge. That's like a win for them, you know, even though he is independent. But I think too, also with the shit Taylor Swift is going through, I think is going to play a big part into what's going on.
I pray for her. I really do. Like nobody. I don't care who you are. Nobody deserves that shit. I pray for her. I really do.
You know, I feel bad to a certain extent because they've been doing that to hip hop people. They did that shit to. That's why Prince was Prince. You know, that's why he was like, fuck the whole system. Fuck being a slave to these contracts because he knew. And man, what they're doing to her is fuck, man. But I think
No matter what genre it is, no matter who you came from, I wouldn't want to see that happen to nobody. You
yeah,
feel me?
it's fucked up. But I think she's talented. Oh, excuse me, talented enough to re-record those records. You know what I mean? And to
I think,
and
and
now she
I seen the tweet that she had. She has a real personal attachment to that work. I kind of see why she's.
oh yeah, well that I think she started when she was a teenager, so I would too if I blew up since 17. I would be like, nah, I want those fucking recordings. I want
Yeah,
my 17-year-old vocals, you know?
yeah, you ain't never gonna get those back.
Oh hell nah. And they've I think been sold twice already, you know? Like nah.
Shit, nutty, for real, for real.
And also I think the Dream, he sold his catalog to a company of similar sorts as well recently for upwards of like 200 something, 200 M's. And they say that they're undervaluing their catalogs for what they're getting, for what like they paid Scooter Braun for.
Of course, Scooter had it for 330. He sold it for 300.
And just, I'm sure it's worth at least 5.
You know, like, and Broadway. We had discussed it. Like I said, that shit lasts forever. Like even
Oh
if,
yeah.
even let's say for example, we got kids. We go out. Let's say for example, crazy theory. Like we just go out right now somehow. We just go
Mm.
out, but we still got kids because of how we solidified ourselves. That will go to them. It wouldn't go to the labels. You know,
Facts, yep.
like you said, that's why it's really important to like, get a grip on that.
And I think have people around you that want that for you, that understand like, yo, you need to own your shit, or you need to not dive head first into those contracts or the type of business, because the way we do business in the underground, I think could take away a lot of bullshit that the quote unquote mainstream goes through. Like if they, from what I hear personally, is like these people just don't send money. Like that's what I hear. And in the underground, at least for me, I like you ask like, okay, I send that shit because that's what you paid. That's what I paid for your service, And I feel like if they adopted just paying people, bro, that would negate so much bullshit.
For sure, for sure. And oh snap, I'm actually looking on the drum. We actually got 3 minutes left in the podcast. So
Okay.
the final questions I'm gonna ask, and I appreciate the gems that you had, gave for the, for the podcast. So, maneuvering, getting these gems through Clubhouse, staying independent and all that. What do you have planned for 2021 to, keep your independence, keeping yourself solidified, and also, dropping new content?
Yeah, man. See, this is the thing. I want to stay independent, but if God has something else planned for me, if I'm meant to sign to wherever, OVO, Rock Nation, Empire, Interscope, Aftermath, wherever, bro, if that paperwork is right and the right people are in that building and backing me up, I'll do it, because them contracts, if the right contracts aren't forever, there are those forever contracts that you talk about where they had Wayne in and shit like that. But I'm going to make sure I go into those buildings if that is what planned for me, But as far as 2021, I just I want to tour, man. This year I was supposed to tour This year I was supposed to do a whole bunch of shit, like hundreds of shows, and you know, everybody missed festivals and everybody missed underground, like collective shows out here in LA and warehouse party, you know, house
For
parties
sure.
performing that, you know, because LA, we still on that house party shit out here. Like, so that next year, I just want to tour. Like, that's my shit. Like, I have enough music to tour off of. I could stop putting out music and I feel like I'm confident enough in the music I have out to tour off of. But that, yeah, 2021, and I'm just gonna, I don't know if you're familiar with Griselda, like Benny, Westside Gun, and Conway.
Of course.
Their output of music is astounding. So 2021, I want to take a note from them, you know, like a piece from their book and implement that with my shit, because I have so much music, man, from fucking years of recording that I just feel like that needs to be out, and it will just help me be able to build my brand, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Like how they say. But more, I just want to build my catalog, man, like Wiz and Mac and Wayne, and they have catalogs, you know, like Fab. Ross has an extensive catalog too. Like, I want to have catalog like that. So that's what I'm gonna focus on 2021. And touring, bro, I miss performing so much, man. Like,
that touring, man, and you know, like I said, like I see that you really got yourself game planned, you know, for 2021, like you said, and especially when that touring comes back, I see the game plan with that. What is the one final gem? And you know, I gotta put the extra couple minutes in for this because I just had the footage with the Zoom camera with this one, but the one final question that I have to ask, and you know, I don't care how long you go with it with this one. What is the one final gem that you would give artists going into 2021 to keep themselves consistent and to actually build themselves and not keep themselves in that little rut? Because I know they're learning a lot from the episode, but I'm sitting there like, damn, like how can I really put this into my career? What would be that one final gem if you were sitting with that artist right there in the studio that you would tell them?
put your head down and do the work.
Hey.
Like, at least to me, like, I'm almost 10 years in and I haven't blown up yet. I'm 23. Like, most of our goats, who we call our goats, who we all consider, like, we look at like, yeah, didn't blow up till late 20s, almost mid 20s and shit, even 30, you know, like Cole just had his best year 2 years ago and he's 33.
I've been writing since 9. Been in the
You know
studio.
what I mean?
Been in the studio since I was 13, and I'm 27.
Yeah, see what I mean? Yeah, like I think also knowing what you want, knowing what artists and what stature and what, like, do you want to fill out arenas? Like, do you or do you just want to do the little club runs and sell out in everywhere, and you know, like Memphis, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that either, because
It's all about direction and what you want.
yeah, and usually those clubs in the South or in those smaller venues, like when you get to a certain point, they usually pay more than the arenas or the amphitheaters and shit, because you're able to fill more seats and it takes more money. So I think you got to know you just got to know and have a feeling like, yo, like, I want to be here. And then look at other people that are here and be like, all right, I see where they fucked up. Like, I feel like specifically, for example, Drake, if Drake didn't beef either with Meek or Pusha, despite everything, all the background shit that other people had playing to it, I feel like if he would have said, fuck it, it would have boosted him up more. Or like, I look at OF and Tyler and the way they split up, I feel like if they didn't go about it like that, all of them could be at a higher stature, even though, you know, Frake and Tyler are Grammy-winning artists now. But I feel like you got to realize, or you got to have a self-realization that, yo, like, I want to be here. There's steps that I've seen the OGs before me take that you see where they went wrong, or you see where they went right and where it worked for them. Yeah, I think just knowing, like, and having confidence in knowing, and when it gets like you're just not going anywhere, look up sometimes, because when you look up sometimes and you just go through, like, you experience life, you realize, like, oh shit, like, I'm not where I was 5 years ago. You know, like 5 years ago, I didn't have money in my pocket. Like, I didn't have, you know what I mean? I didn't have what I have now, even though I'm not big. So I think that's taking that and realizing, like, it's all right, and be able to put your head down and do the work, even when it seems like your road is longer than others. Because I've come to realize that
Everybody's path is different.
yeah, and it's okay, bro, because no, like, we hold, I keep bringing up Hove and Kendrick and shit like that, but because, like, they're who other people hold to a higher standard because of their rap. And I feel like their paths are so fucking different, but they ended up at the same, damn near the same spot in hip hop. People hold them up, you know what I mean? So it doesn't, and they're from totally two different generations, totally different side of the country.
For sure.
So I think I've recorded so many fucking songs, bro. Like, so, you know, so, and I think now, especially in the underground right now, there's a lot of kids who started after X passed. R.I.P. You know, like,
I definitely did notice that.
Or after Juice passed, even more.
After X and P passed, I definitely seen a rise. Even before Juice passed, I seen a rise.
And I feel like, you know, it's cool, you know, but that group or that generation coming in, I think has it twisted a little bit, because they see dudes like Nick Mira, they see dudes like dude who produced Old Town Road or Cash Money AP, and be like, damn, they have all these fucking plaques or whatever, and they've been in it only 5 years. And these kids are 2 years in since X passed, and they're like, oh, what the fuck? When it's like, bruh, Pharrell and them, I'm sure, didn't get any placements until 5-6 years later, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or even 10 years, like, you know, like, so I just think, even when no one believes in you too, just saying, fuck it, bro. Like, I believe in myself. Like, my thing too is, when I'm 40 years old, I have to feed myself. My money has to feed me. I can't be waiting on the next man, or looking over there at the next lane, worrying about what dude is doing, because what he's doing, he might just run into a wall tomorrow and crash. You know, I can't be worried about that. So that's why I just put my head down and do the work. And I noticed that OGs, like 88's OGs, like, you know, back then, that work ethic still holds weight. That having an extensive catalog, building your shit, still holds weight. And I think just, you know, that, I don't know if that, you can't really sum that up in one gem, but, you know.
Shit, for sure. I can actually because, you know, it's like I said, it's a whole concept, it's a whole concept and meaning behind that. But, you know, like I said, and I'm pretty sure, you know, that's going to be food for thought regardless when people hear that. And, you know, like I said, bro, I appreciate you coming through, bro. And I definitely appreciate your perspective on everything, bro, because I definitely learned a thing or two in this episode, you know, just hearing you and like hearing how you came about, you know, just from your story and everything. So, you know, I'm pretty sure the fans and I'm pretty sure a lot of the artists are going to appreciate this episode. And y'all already know, it's your boy 215 God Beats, aka Streets. You already know this. Let Me Rap Wit You podcast. Going to November. Y'all already know. We out of
Yes,
here.
sir.
Peace, bro.
Peace, man.
You already.